touchdown in Haiti. We've been here about an hour. We are at our second stop at St. Luke's Hospital. So I'm gonna, take a tour of the hospital and go over to Jack's giving information on there.
Program. Many of you have done so much for us, so I gotta give another round of applause in front of everybody for Model Volleyball. Passionate initiative for Model Volleyball. Obviously, to bring women and influencers together to come to a country like this and provide women's services, healthcare services, is something that is truly life-changing for a lot of these women. This is the only option that they have. I mean, there's 100 stories. I'll let you tell a couple of those in a second. But this staff does an amazing job, providing care for women for free at times when they have to. And it's really the only option for a lot of women. Many of you that know me know that women's health, particularly cancer, you're talking about breast cancer and cervical cancer, are passions of mine. I was taught that from my mentor, Joyce Banda, who was the former president of Malawi. I'll say it time and time again, you can't rebuild a country, you can't rebuild a neighborhood, you can't start a family if your women aren't healthy. And so it saddens me to think about women that don't get access to simple health care, women that go their entire lives without seeing a gynecologist. So those things shouldn't happen anywhere in the world, particularly in the same hemisphere as us, 90 minutes from the border of Miami. So you all, I'm gonna pass it over to the amazing staff at IHI and let them say something. You want to go first?
So, Kenya, why don't you explain just the program itself, when it started, and then what we do?
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry for my English because my English is not good.
It's great.
Yeah. And the program start in 2013 and with Medishare project. And 2015, the project was closed in Medishare, and we passed by Innovating Health International. In Innovating Health International, we have a big idea, a big project, a big plan for Haiti. Because in Innovating Health International, we have a lab pathology. Lab pathology is not in the Port-au-Prince. The lab pathology is at Cap Haitian. Why? Because Cap Haitian, we don't have nothing like lab pathology to Cap Haitian. That's the reason Dr. Vance put this lab at Cap Haitian and at hospital Justinien University. And then we have pathology program with Cap Haitian. We have cervical cancer. In the cervical cancer, all the things we have to cervical cancer by financed by Jack Barrett. And today I would like to say thank you to Jack, to GBF Foundation, because this organization helped this program very much. We have a cervical cancer. In cervical cancer, we don't have cervical cancer here at the Port-au-Prince because we implemented this project, all the hospital, the government hospital, the public hospital, all in nine hospital in the department, 18 department. And after cervical cancer, we have breast cancer program. Breast cancer program is here. I think in Haiti we have the only one program cancer in Haiti. Give everything is free. We operate for breast cancer, for breast reconstruction is free. All the thing is free here. The medicine is free. All the thing I said is free. Is free here. We have chemotherapy here. We have chemotherapy here. All the thing we prepare it, all the thing. All the medicine is here. And after that, if the patient comes for a first visit, for a visit clinic, all the visit clinic is here, is free too. After the visit clinic, when the patient comes for a first time, we take care of the patient. And day by day, even the patient don't come here, we need to call the patient and you know what happened to the patient. We don't do only we don't take only health care for this patient. For example, if you have something, for example, social services, we take care of it. For example, I remember for the hurricane, when Jack come to see how the situation is doing in Haiti, I remember Jack tell Vince, you need to do another thing for the patient, and that's the reason we call all the patient. We evaluate the situation to do what the situation exactly, what the patient has exactly. For example, Jack said, I remember you coming with Berto, and Jack said, friends, actually we don't need only medicine for the patient. We need food for the patient. We need water for the patient. We need something for the patient. Don't come here. Don't call the patient and come to take something here. You need to go home with the patient, and that's the situation. And I think we spend a lot of money for the situation. I think it's a big program. I can't understand quite well what the program do for the people. I think you can see the people, you can see the installation, what will be exactly, what we do exactly for this patient. I think this is a big project. We go up day by day, second by second, minute by minute. We go up, and we try to give a better life with the patient. Even I know the patient has a problem for the
kidney.
Oh, I'm sorry. The doctor program is here.
Kenya is the program director here in Haiti. He manages everything that you see. He's the one that keeps it all going. He's the one that follows up with each patient. Hedner knows every minuscule part about this program.
So let me give you one quick story about Kendra when we were here last time. As you probably remember, the hurricane was horrific. I mean, devastating. Never seen anything like it. I don't ever want to see anything like it again in my life. When we were here, we had women battling cancer who had 4 or 5 kids at home, families, and had to come 20, 30 kilometers here to get chemo treatment. So first off, just getting access to chemo treatment in Haiti is not an easy thing. There's not a lot of facilities that offer that. So it's not like the U.S. But then taking on top of that, we had women that had their homes completely washed away, and their kids were sitting underneath brush and underneath whatever they could find to protect their kids at night from sleep. And so when he's giving you the stories about this hospital being more than just a place where you come to get health care provided for you, it's really the only option for a lot of these people. And so, we help repair roofs, we help supply food, we help supply aqua tabs so that they could get access to clean water. And so all of that is also done through this program. We can't talk about it all because it's so much and the need is very great. But Kendra does an amazing job at really managing the people on the human side of it, on top of just providing the care.
All right, so now I'm going to introduce Dr. Bernard. Dr. Bernard is our oncologist here, and he provides treatment for our patients with HI.
Hi everyone. It's nice to see you here. Like Kate said, I'm Dr. Bernard. Not the only physician, because since about 1 month ago we have a second physician. In fact, we have 3 physicians because Dr. Vince is also a physician, part of the program. And I can say that I'm the main physician. I started St. Bernard Meds when there was the product Medicare, and when the program moved to St. Luke, so I moved with Dr. Vince, and we started to work here about 1 year ago. And it was mainly a breast cancer program, but now we started expanding, like we're starting to take care of all types of cancer. And let me give you a little idea of the situation of cancer here in Haiti. Because in Haiti we have only 4 cancer facilities. And among these 4 centers, we have 3 of them that are in Port-au-Prince. We have, there's a, I think you went through there, right? There's St. Damien Hospital, which is the biggest pediatric hospital in Haiti. That is the only hospital that takes care of pediatric cancer. Okay? So it's the same congregation. So in Haiti, we have some statistics for our center. We have about 80% of the cases of breast cancer that arrive at end stage, late stage and end stage, either stage 3 or stage 4, which means that the patients come very late because of a lack of awareness, because of lack of cancer care, because when they see a general physician, they might not be trained to identify cancer. So they feel that it's nothing bad, so they go at home and they come pretty late to us. So it's a big challenge for us, especially to treat late-stage breast cancer. We have about 20% of them that come at end-stage breast cancer, so it's not curable. So we only give them some support care, palliative care, and improve their quality of life, like I could say. And our biggest challenge now is to try to have a bigger program and try to go to give not only breast cancer but all types of cancer care, which is still a big challenge because the lab tests are very expensive. Chemotherapy is very expensive. We don't have radiation therapy in Haiti. So when they need radiation therapy, they have to go to the Dominican Republic, and it's very expensive. Well, it's like, I give you an example, radiation therapy is about $2,500 US, but it might not be a lot of money for Americans, but for Haitians it's a big deal. When you multiply that by 70, it gives you an idea of how many goods it costs. And knowing that the minimum wage in Haiti is 300 goods, okay, so try to see how big this is a burden for a family, especially that we mainly have breast cancer and cervical cancer, and the Haitian economics is driven, like Jack Brower said, is driven by women in Haiti. Okay, so when we take care of these women, we give them a chance to survive cancer. We also take care of their family, we take care of their children, and we take care of Haiti. I know if somebody has something to say. So thank you once again for coming. We really appreciate that.
Well, I will just step in for a moment and tell you guys about the cervical cancer portion of our program. So for those of you who are not aware how cervical cancer works, cervical cancer is more or less caused by HPV. The virus HPV is present in a woman, and that leads to cervical cancer eventually. This is highly preventable. This is no longer an issue in the United States. Women are screened via pap smear. They're tested regularly. We have vaccines that young women are able to get. This is not even a top 10 issue within the United States. Within the developing world, it is one of the leading causes of death, and here in Haiti, it is here. Breast cancer and cervical cancer are the leading causes of death among women. Highly preventable. So what IHI is doing currently right now is helping to screen women to find out if they are HPV positive. If they are HPV positive, we provide the treatment that they need so that it can prevent them from then becoming cervical cancer patients. Once a woman in Haiti has cervical cancer, it is 100% a death sentence. So we have to get out there. We have to go and partner with these agencies, these public hospitals, and get women screened to prevent this from actually happening. Right now, we are working with a number of different public hospital sites where IHI has gone out. They have done the training to teach the Haitian staff there how to actually screen women and treat them. So those programs are functioning. The other part of the work that we're doing here is, we spoke on it briefly before, but pathology is something that you need to have. If you don't start treatment for any kind of cancer as quickly as possible, your chances of death go up exponentially as well. So not only is it important to prevent and screen, but those women who do have cancer, it's important to get to them quickly. The length of time that it takes, if you don't have a pathologist here in the country, the length of time that it takes is how long it takes for that woman to figure out she has cancer, to get to the doctor, to get a biopsy done, for that biopsy to be sent to the United States, where it's then read, and then the results are sent back. This can take a very long time, so it is imperative that we have these services available to women in Haiti. To do that, we have set up a path lab that is also in conjunction with the Ministry of Health, with the Haitian Ministry of Health in Cap-Haïtien, where we can send specimens. The lab technicians have been trained on how to properly prepare these slides so that they can be uploaded, and we have telemedicine. These slides can be uploaded, and in real time, a pathologist in the United States can read that slide, can tell us definitively if that woman has cancer, and then we can start treatment almost immediately. This is essential, and it saves lives. So everything that you guys have been doing to help us, we appreciate so much. Your generosity, your assistance is touching lives every single day. IHI does a number of different things. We also provide, we are also doing research amongst non-communicable diseases, but our work in breast cancer, cervical cancer is all a part of, because of you guys. So thank you so, so much.
And one thing that's key that we didn't touch on, I think, enough, and you just touched on it, is the fact that this is a sustainable project. This is a lot of training goes on. So we're training Haitians, local Haitians, to help treat themselves. And I think for me, that was one of the most rewarding things, because you can really see this thing grow. So we're gonna move on now and go and check out the facilities, right?
Yep.
Before we go there, just also wanted to mention that IHR was also our partner in helping to distribute the $69 million in medicine that we helped deliver a few weeks back, which is something that almost broke me down, because it was one of the most incredible things ever. So thank them for that. A lot of medicine got delivered. So Dr. Vince isn't here, but you all will meet him tomorrow when he gets in town, if you don't already know him. We partner with other organizations in country as well. So we work with all of a lot of the major hospitals here, particularly the government hospitals. We work with Medishare and other organizations. So this is all a partnership. It's all a family, and there's trying to really help the country overall improve health conditions here. So.
Yes, no, sustainability, guys. I'm a volunteer. I don't actually work for the program.
And she's a badass.
Big time.
Yeah, you want to go? Okay. This is our chemo center.
Yeah.
So before we come in, this is real. Patients are here getting chemo right now. You're gonna see that it's gonna look a little bit different than the chemo you're probably used to in the United States. They know we're coming. Most of them are happy to see us. They understand while we're here. Jewel, this would be a good opportunity for you to maybe speak to a couple people. Okay. So if we could, we're a big group this year, so why don't we split up and maybe break it up in like 15 at a time, and then we can kind of rotate, if you don't mind. Come on, don't be shy.
So how'd you get all that medicine?
We partner with Hope, the City of Hope International, help to identify medicine through various doctors, hospitals, and the likes. And we paid for the shipping, and we coordinated everything on the ground, and we got it done. Yeah.
I have a question. How many people can you take care of at once in the whole hospital?
That's a question.
So we are IHI, so we provide chemotherapy for the patient. So this is not inpatient, this is all outpatient. We can take care of 6 patients at a time. So that's typically the number of patients that we see. It takes a number of hours to get the chemotherapy.
And this is the only place that the women can come and get chemo?
There's a few other places, but it's very few and far between. So here in Port-au-Prince, this is for women, for adults, this is the only place that they can come to receive chemotherapy for free.
So it's full every day?
What?
It's full every day. So all these patients aren't paying anything.
Not necessarily. We do ask that the patients pay something, but I would say probably 50% of our patients can't even afford to feed themselves. And if you're getting chemotherapy, if you have cancer and you're getting chemotherapy, it's essential that you get enough food. So not only do we not have them pay, then we make sure that they're eating. So this is where you guys are helping us.
And you see that all throughout the emerging world, Haiti, even a little bit in DR. You know, without nutrition, you have compromised immune systems. And when you have compromised immune systems, no matter what disease it is, it's going to multiply. So you can only imagine. So let's get in. I don't want to sit out too long. Get in and out if you can. Let's go like 15 at a time. So everybody in front of Byron. Byron, you'll be the last one to go into this group, if you don't mind. Thank you, brother. If everybody don't know, that's my big brother, Byron Chamberlain, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Hey. He mentored me throughout the league, so I love this man.
I don't know. Can we bring cameras in there?
Let me ask them.
Yeah. Maybe that's not.
So I'm turning the camera around because they are asking if it's okay to have cameras in. So I'm putting the camera on me and our group instead of on the people that's here. I'm doing live, so I'm gonna turn it around. Bonsoir. Yes, I'm keeping the camera just on our team right now.
So today we had 4 patients for chemotherapy. So we had, well, like I said, we not only treat cases of breast cancer. We have only 2 cases of breast cancer, 1 case of breast cancer. We have ovarian cancer here. We have a colon cancer, and we have someone who had skin cancer on the neck. So we only have 1 case of breast cancer today.
I didn't want to put the camera on the people, so I turned it on. I saw they're okay with the cameras.
Yeah, I just asked them. They were okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our team is coming in 15 at a time right now. Not really trying to put it too much on the patients, but there are patients in here. And this is the room where they do chemo. Bonsoir. So this is part of the IH team, the doctors in here. Yeah guys, so this is what it looks like. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Comment est mamie? Bien? You take care là? Vous aimez là? Bonsoir.
Yo no sé exactamente, pero yo pienso. Do you know where there's a restroom that I could use? Yeah, it is in the building over. Yeah.
So if you are just tuning in right now, the next couple of days I'm going to be in Haiti with the JBF Foundation. We landed this morning. We're at St. Luke Hospital right now, which is a cancer patient hospital. They were basically explaining how cervical cancer and breast cancer is one of the leading causes of death for women in Haiti, because there's not enough treatment, there's not enough, you know, hospitals that offer the services that they can afford. And this hospital is the only hospital, I believe it's in Port-au-Prince, I don't know if Haiti, where they can actually have the service for free. So if you guys have any questions, like, please feel free to comment, and I will definitely ask for you guys while we're here. So I just went inside and we saw a few of the people that was actually in the middle of getting chemo, and guys, it looks nothing like a chemo center in the States. And you know, they're in there and it's like 5 or 6 of them. They say it's always full. Just seeing the amount of work they say that they've done and the amount of improvements at this hospital, yet to see the room of how much more help they need is, you know. So yeah, so we're still here. We're going in like 15 at a time. Just let me kind of do a quick tour of the hospital grounds. So this is inside of the hospital. So it's gated, so when you come in, it's gated and the gate is closed, and I'm guessing this is like a church. It looks like a church. So this is the front part of the hospital where we come in. So as you can see, it's gated. The pharmacy is over there. If you're watching, can you tell me if it's clear? How good is the audio in the video? I want to make sure you guys are getting everything. I wonder how long is treatment, or is it just based on resources? I can definitely ask that question for you. Let me get someone that would know the answer. Okay. Okay, let me ask her.
Well, he's worked in Haiti for a number of years, but he started this cancer care program in 2013. And at that point, he was working out of a different hospital called.
Everyone is just coming out of the chemo room. Like, you could tell everyone's mood has changed after going in there. Yeah.
And helped him with the initial stages of this, and then different organizations, so we try to get a little bit of everything from everybody, but yeah.
So I'm going to Facebook Live. Some people are asking questions from the States.
Oh, sure.
So one of the first questions, it says, how long is treatment, and is it based on resources?
No, it's not based on resources. Treatment is protocolized, which means that based on the stage of their cancer, the grade of their cancer, there's specific treatment that they get that is a set protocol. So it's typically 4 or 8 rounds, and it's once every 21 days, so 4 to 8 months of treatment. And then after that, it may be necessary for the woman to have a mastectomy if we're talking about breast cancer. One of the unique things about the program here is that we also offer breast reconstruction for women, which is an amazing opportunity for them because it is a worry that they are deformed then.
And someone said, what is the location of the hospital? It's in Port-au-Prince, right?
It is. It's in Tabar, which is the neighborhood of Port-au-Prince.
Okay, awesome. I'm trying to see this in the next time with the group. It's clear going down. Okay, awesome. That's the questions right now. If they have any more, I'll come and find you. Thank you.
So unfortunately, you know, most of them will die. With the unfortunate thing. So obviously, dealing with that process in a place like this where the resources are so limited, it's important to have, you know, proper people here that can actually consult and try to bring some type of closure to what's going on with the situation. So feel free to come in, pop in and out, and then once we get through here, we're gonna go show you the broader St. Luke's Hospital, so then we can get on the road because we got a tight itinerary before get started. This is actually the place where they consult, where they meet with the patients and their families.
You said where they meet with the families?
Yeah.
Like their families? Who's on?
Their families are the patients.
Oh, the patient's families. Oh, okay, so the patient families sitting here.
They're packed right now, but the next
Okay.
one will come. No, right now they're talking. They have room. Right there.
So when you say meet with the families, this is where like they tell them what's going.
So this is counseling because a lot of people
Like if you find out you just have cancer,
So
you
basically-
kind of
Oh.
need, like my dad.
Okay. Okay.
How to deal with it.
Okay, so when you say consult, you guys mean like counseling
Counseling.
for. Okay. Jack. I have
Africa's a long time ago. Slave trade.
Facebook Live question. They said, are they getting any support from the government?
Well, our hospital is not a government hospital. We do partner with the government, so our cervical cancer projects are dispersed throughout the country. So we fund them with equipment, and we've helped set up this program in partnership with the Ministry of Health. But this is all coming from donor funds like the Jack Brewer Foundation and our other supporters.
Thank you. I think this question is for the nurse. Yeah, so we are outside of the room. We are outside the room where the family, the patient might not have cancer. They consult with the families and they're counseling them. And the room is packed right now. So you're welcome, Wesley.
Does anybody want to come in and check out this portion of the center?
Yeah,
If
just
you
really
do,
quick.
come up to the front.
Yeah.
It's a little hard. Sometimes I can't stay in there long.
Some dead bodies. There's some dead bodies in here. There's some dead bodies in here.
There's what?
The joke right there.
Oh.
Mom, please. Everyone was like, you want Facebook Live in another country?
That's what I do, baby. That's what I do.
Go in here and get this. Where's Jules at?
We're going in.
And I think we have. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Sorry. And this we have Taraz. We have Taraz. This is a patient, and I think Taraz has a 5 or 8 months since she do a mastectomy, and you have a mastectomy, I think. Yes. See, this is a mastectomy and a reconstruction we do for Taraz. This is a mastectomy and reconstruction we do, and we never take we never take we take no money with in Taraz's hand. It's free here, and I think we have Kamsus. I think we have Kamsus. We have Kamsus here. We have come. Vini. We have Jocelyn too. Côté Jocelyn. Okay. Jocelyn is Jocelyn, and Kamsus. She has a cervical cancer problem. And actually, we find to make a passport for them, and to go to the Dominican Republic, because this radiotherapy problem, we can do this right now. But we need to send them to Dominican Republic to make some radiotherapy for her. And I think this girl is the first girl. C'est le premier monde que nous fait reconstruction. No. Yes, it's Taraz. Taraz is the first girl first woman, we make some reconstruction for her.
Oh.
And yeah, the first girl, I think.
I mean, of course, you know. Hi. Thank you for. Yeah, it's really awesome.
That's what I do.
Can I see what room is this?
All right. We're supposed to pass these out. Everybody grab a shirt. This is from Innovative Health. This year they said, usually we bring our own t-shirts. They said, you know what, we want to make the t-shirts this year for you all so that you can wear them on this visit. A little late to pass them out, but I guess it's never too late, right? We have all sizes. If you're a guy that wears a large but could wear an extra large, wear the extra large, please. Extra large is here. You know I was talking to y'all. These are larges. We got 100 shirts, so it should be enough for everyone.
Alright guys, so I'm getting ready to go offline for a little bit. So if you're just tuning in, you can rewatch the video. We're at St. Luke Hospital in Port-au-Prince. It's a cancer patient hospital, and you can basically get all the facts and information you need. I also put some more in the caption. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was our second stop. Our first stop early this morning was at Pascal Thread. So I will check back in with you guys a little bit later.